In today's video, we have a new car reveal, and I hope it's going to be a one video car because, as you all know, I've got a lot going on at the moment. But it's one of those days where I'm in a bit of a content blackout because I've got, I'm working on 3 or 4 cars at the moment, and I can't actually get a video out on all of them for various reasons. The Focus RS is just sat there waiting to go to the body shop. There's nothing really more we can do on that until it comes back. The R8, I'm waiting for a seal and another small part before we can take it on an extended road test for the final video on that. The Leon, as I'm sure you're aware from the last video, I am going to fix it. I have ordered all the parts. Most of them have turned up, but the main subframe part hasn't turned up yet. Trouble is, I can start working on it and start dropping all the subframe and everything, but if I haven't got any parts to put back on it, it's going to be stuck on the ramp, and that means I can't then do another video after that. The Porsche is awaiting welding. The guy that's going to weld it, he needs a 32 amp plug for his welder for a better weld. I don't have one, so I'm going to have to take it to him, but I can't take it to him until I get brakes on this. I've ordered a brake pipe. It's actually at Porsche now. I've got to go collect it. So I've got to fit the brake pipe, other brake caliper, just so we've got some brakes in the car because I can't transport it without it. So I'm waiting for that as well. And the M2 is back from the body shop, and I was actually filming a video on that, like the final video with it completely done, but I've ran into some issues that aren't related to the accident, and that's going to put the video back about a week because I've had to order parts, etc. So yeah, stuck on that one as well. So yeah, it can get quite frustrating. I mean, I would love to work on one car from start to finish and then get a new one. But I've just proved that 4 cars, it's just not possible. So I have to do things like this. I've got the car sat there waiting. I'm really hoping there's not too much wrong with it. I have no idea what's wrong with it at the moment. So please welcome to the channel, my Audi TT Black Edition, rare amplified.
I get around despite the loss. I'm over here, gotta get across. Whether you like it or not, there is a moment meant for us. And now you made it, but I already played this. Not interested, open your eyes, let's get it done. Take my hand, just follow me, shadowing me, I won.
So here she is, an Audi TT Black Edition, but this is an amplified version. So it is a run out of the Mark II TTs, and they are quite rare, and I think they actually are a really cool car. Now these came out when I was working at Audi, and there was quite a lot of buzz around them at the time because they just actually look really cool, and they've got a few extra bits over the normal Black Edition that make it stand out that I don't think the Black Edition even came with. So the rotors here, the 5-spoke rotors that you'd normally see on an RS3, a fixed spoiler here, so I think only the TTRS and the amplified editions come with fixed spoilers, and it has Quattro as well. Those are the main 3 things that are additional over the Black Edition on the amplified edition, and it's just a really, to be fair, it's a really cool looking car. Now I bid on this knowing it was an amplified because of the spoiler and the alloys, etc., and this car is worth about this, so it's HPI clear. It's done about 60,000 miles, so it's a great car, so it's worth about 15 grand. Now I actually paid nearly half that, £8,000 I picked this up for. And in this video we're going to be working out why I bought this for about £7,000 less than it's worth. So as I said, it's HPI clear, it run and drive, it's not been crashed, bodywork's good, so yeah, we're going to find out why. And another really cool thing about this car, oh yeah, it's a C car, so it's a private entry. So that's another questionable thing, but this has actually got an exclusive interior as well, and it is cool. So as you can see, it's half red leather all throughout, steering wheel as well, and the door cards, and as you can see, they're Audi exclusive on the door cards with red stitching. It's got Bose, I've got 2 keys, I've got the V5, I've even got the book pack. So on the face of it, this is a really, really nice car, but there's something wrong with it. Gotta be. So if we just jump in, now you could get the amplified edition in diesel and petrol, but from my memory, the most common one was actually the diesel. Now this is a petrol, which now, going forward probably 11, 12 years, petrol is the preferred option nowadays. So it's supposed to run and drive. I had it put here purposefully, so I don't know if it runs or not. I mean, I assume it runs because the guy literally parked it here. So start her up. Oh, she runs. Engine management light on, and yeah, it's definitely got a misfire. Yeah, it's got a misfire, so let's just turn that off. Okay, so we have a misfire, but looking around. Interior actually looks really good. It's got a Pioneer aftermarket head unit, good. So let's just open the bonnet and see how epic would this be if it's just a core pack. So there we go, look, 2 litre turbo quattro engine. Coolant looks good. Engine bay looks really clean actually. So first thing I'm going to do is actually plug in the computer, diagnostic, and we'll see what codes it's thrown up. Also, let me know what you would do about the wheels. Would you keep them in gloss black? Because originally these would have, so these should be diamond cut. So this bit here would normally be diamond cut silver, like polished chrome around the edge. So would you keep them in black, or would you put it back to the original factory spec, which is the diamond cut edging? Me personally, I'd go factory, but I'm just an OEM type of person. Plug her in. Right, cast your votes in the comment section below. What we're going for? Coil pack, spark plug, misfire, injector blocked? Let me know. Hopefully it's not compression low on a cylinder. That'd be the worst case scenario. Cylinder 2 misfire detected. Hide cylinder. Right. First thing we're going to do then is swap over the coil packs. That's the easiest. So I'm just praying it's a coil pack this whole time. So let's start with a coil pack. Cylinder 2, so we're going to swap that with cylinder 3. So let's just do that quickly. Cool, no DTCs. So let's come back out. Cycle. Okay, right, let me try and get a misfire. I mean, it's misfiring, but let me try and get the ECU to recognise it. Right, damn it, still cylinder 2, it's coming up now. Yay, we have an owner's manual with actual fuse locations. So engine bay, fuse 1 is engine relay fuel tank control unit. So we need to unplug that one. It also does the engine ECU as well. So hopefully it will still turn over. So fuse number 1 in the engine bay. Okay, I didn't hear the fuel pump prime, so that's a good start. Does it turn over? Yes, it does. Right, compression test time. Right, I've just screwed it in, all plugged in. Let's reset. Let's go for a start. Please have loads of compression. Oh no, it's got no compression. Oh, I mean, it was always going to happen, wasn't it? Let's be honest. Don't know if you can see that. We're at 1 bar. Right, so we have cylinder 2, absolutely no compression. So now we've got to get it into the bloody workshop. Right, my boroscope's not working, so I can't see down there. Can't see anything major anyway. Runs fine on 3 cylinders, so I'm going to assume there's not too much damage. So we're going to start by taking the inlet manifold off, because the injectors are under it as well. See what that reveals. Fingers crossed, maybe just a carbon build-up, valve's not seating correctly. I think that's my best hope at the moment. But we're going to start stripping it and find out the problem. And I want to smash this one out because I don't want this dragging on. You're going to be on it as it is with a new car. So aim of this video is to get as much done as possible, smash this out, and get this done before parts for the other cars turn up. And I just wanted to confirm that my pressure gauge is working fine, and you can see, look, just under 13 bar for cylinder 1. So yeah, that's working fine. So to take the inlet manifold off, it's quite tricky because it's also part of the injector rail as well. So you need to remember to undo all the bolts for inlet manifold and the injector rail. Start by removing the airbox just to get it out of the way. And also my boost pipe, get that out of the way as well by removing the boost pipe from underneath as well, just so you've got access to the bolts at the bottom. There is one main bolt that's holding the inlet manifold to the block. You need to remove that, otherwise you ain't getting it out at all. But once you do, it all does pull off pretty easily. You need to remove the oil filter housing as well because there's an electrical connector in the way. But once you've done that, it's not too bad. So that's the inlet manifold out with 3 of the 4 injectors. One of them's decided to stay in the head. Looking at it, can't see anything major so far. They all look fairly similar, apart from the fact that they are in dire need of a carbon clean. Because this is direct injection, the fuel gets injected directly into the cylinder, whereas on some cars it gets injected into the inlet manifold, and that petrol there keeps the back of the valves nice and clean. But in this case it doesn't, so we get loads of carbon build-up. Look, just look in the valves there. So they all look the same. I can't see anything obvious, any difference between cylinders 2 and the rest of them at the moment. So I'm just going to put a socket on the engine, turn it over, and maybe the valves aren't seating because of the carbon. I don't know yet. So I managed to find my borescope, and we've gone down cylinder 2, just having a good look around. I mean, you can't see much. The picture quality isn't great, but there's nothing that looked glaringly obvious. I didn't think there would be anyway. It's just a load of fuel on top of the cylinder and quite a bit of carbon buildup, as you'd expect, because the fuel's not igniting properly due to no compression. So after getting the borescope down there, there's nothing really to see, nothing glaringly obvious. I didn't think there would be anyway, because the engine runs. If there was a bit of piston missing, it would, yeah, be horrendous. So that, yeah, I kind of expected that. Now, there's not enough from the intake side that I can see. I mean, if it was a carbon buildup issue, I don't think I'd lose all pressure. It might just be down. It'd be like at 3 or 4 bar instead of 10 or 11. I don't think it would be at 1 bar just from carbon buildup on the valve. So I don't know whether I should just try cleaning them out a little bit first before we start taking the rocker cover off. So I've got my walnut blaster here. I've got a load of blast media that I'm just firing into the inlet just to clean it up, get all the carbon out, just to see if I can see an issue. Right, so I've just done a carbon clean on cylinder 2 intake. You might not be able to see it very well, but it's not perfect. I could spend a little bit longer, but I've got the main carbon deposits all off. Certainly looks better than the other 3 now anyway. So what I've just done is put the injector back in to seal the cylinder off, and I'm just going to turn it over without a spark plug in it or anything like that, just to get any debris that may have fallen into the cylinder out the top. And then we're going to go for another compression test to see if it's made a difference or not. Right, so yeah, still absolutely no compression on cylinder 2. So the next thing I'm going to do is just pour a little bit of oil down the spark plug hole, and basically doing that, it acts as a seal to check if the piston rings are either worn or stuck in, carboned up, etc. And that, if that increases compression, that should tell me that the piston rings are worn. If it doesn't increase compression, then we've probably got an issue on the exhaust side of the valves. Head gasket possibly, cracked head, but I'm not hearing any hissing or anything like that. So yeah, we'll try a bit of oil down the bore, see if that helps. Ish of oil, let's pour it down. Nope. So another thing I did off camera was swap an injector with a different cylinder just to make sure it was the injector seal that hadn't gone. But no, I swapped it with cylinder 1 and I was still getting no pressure at all. So at this point, we need to take the cylinder head off. And if I'm honest, this was a bit of an arse to work on. Everything was just difficult. There was just bolts in the way of everything. So I had to take the engine man out just to get a bolt out. And yeah, it's just a massive pain. But getting the turbo off as well just wouldn't come off. Ended up having to take off all the ancillaries to get the turbo off, all the water and oil lines. Eventually we got there. I mean, what should have been a 3-hour job pretty much took 8. So here's a nice little time lapse to finish it off. So I'm not going to lie, so far this thing has been a complete and utter arse to work on. I've spent 2 hours trying to undo the one pathetic bolt which sits above the exhaust manifold here for the heat shield. It's an unnecessary bolt for a start, but it's the one, it's this one here, look. The one that sits just above the exhaust manifold, so you can't actually get a proper bolt, a tool on it in the first place, and it's just a completely unnecessary bolt. And it just would not come out. I mean, I tried everything, chisel, even an air chisel, did not budge. I ended up having to grind the heat shield off and then levering it so it come away, and then eventually by doing that it freed off and I got it out. 2 hours trying to get a epoxy heat shield off. Well, I finally got there. I finally got the head off, and yeah, I probably skipped quite a lot of that because it has taken so long. This has definitely been my least favourite car to work on so far this year. It's just that turbo. It took me, well, it should really be, I don't know, 6 hour job, 5-6 hour job to get the head off of this, and it's taken me all day. That bolt with the heat shield didn't help, but getting this, it's just an absolute nightmare. Couldn't get it off. Anyway, got it off in the end, got the head off. I can't really find anything obvious straight away. Let's just go over to the head quickly. So here's the head, and here's our cylinder 2, which had no compression at all, remember. It's not like it was just down by a couple of bar, it had no compression. But I can't find anything obvious. It doesn't really look any different from the other cylinders. The other valves, sorry. And cylinders. I mean, you might say there's slightly something there, but then again, it's same, if anything, it's worse on that one. So, nothing obvious straight away. The only thing that I found is on the top of the bores, we can see like carbon and burn marks. So, if you look at cylinders 1, 3 and 4, you can see the clear line of where the piston ring stops at the top there, and there's just nothing below it. But here, look, we can see something has got past it. So, and if I can go upside down. Sorry, I have to go upside down. See on the back side of it as well, look, there's some bit of carbon there by the looks of it. Again, nothing on the others. You can see it there, look. So, I don't know whether that's leaning towards piston rings or head gasket. I'm actually not too sure. But the bore itself looks absolutely fine, which leads me to believe it's not piston rings. Now, after watching the video back, those brown marks you can see on the cylinder wall, they look like they're being pushed past the top ring, which is the compression ring. So now I'm thinking, is it the piston rings after all? I mean, if the piston rings had failed that badly to get no compression at all, I think there'd be some more telltale signs. So I'm leaning towards head gasket now. I can't really find any problems. Let me know in the comments what you think the problem is. I've kind of balls myself up here now because I've got this. This was meant to be a nice, easy job, and it's turned into a bit of a nightmare so far. But I do want to get it smashed out in the next video, and then it's done. And then hopefully by the time this is done, parts for other cars will be back and we can resume those ones. So I want to get this wrapped up as quick as possible. I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, it still could be piston rings. But anyway, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. That is going to be the end of today's video, guys. I'm going to send the head away to be pressure tested and reconditioned anyway. Also, we're going to fit a new head gasket set anyway, probably a timing chain as well. So if you want to see that video, please do like and subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram at saving_salvage. Yeah, I'm leaning towards head gasket at the minute, and we're going to replace all that anyway, as I said. Can't find anything else obvious. I'm probably going to do a test on the piston rings, put some oil in it overnight, see if I lose it, but we'll see. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.